Well, there's the 200-inch dome. Inside, if United States has crown jewels, it's the mirror, and that's our Tower of London. The guards just don't dress as funny. One of the smaller domes at Palomar.
In 1938, Hale died. It's sad we never lived to see the telescope completed.
The sign says this slab is the same size and shape as the Hale mirror.
After the war, work recommenced. The chief designer, the Vermont architect, Russell.
There's the man. He said make no small plans. There's a nice picture. I don't know if I'm breathing heavy because of the altitude or the excitement. There's a nice model. And here's the biggest doggone scope I guess I'll ever see. A viewing cage. All the way up to the prime focus. About the same size of the wheels on the train I take to work every day. And there's the business end, the prime focus. There is the base for the vacuum chamber that is used for aluminizing the 200-inch mirror. And there is the top of the bell jar for doing the same job. And here is the dome slit, the window to the stars. Says here that the Rockefellers built all this. Best use for their money I ever heard of. We're moving the prime focus platform in place for tonight's viewing. Looks like a nice carnival ride.
No matter what angle the telescope is leaning, the seat will still be level, so the guy doesn't have to sit there sideways. Now what I was telling you about outside is the whole top of this dome thing here will help the telescope lean east or west. So the telescope can lean anywhere in the sky to see anything they need to see. There's a computer that will automatically keep it tracking right on whatever they're looking at. You all know that our Earth is moving, right? It sits over here in a computer room, and that's where they, what they do is they send the image from up here to that computer electronically. See what else should I see the ladder all the way at the top? Uh-huh. Well.
Here's the 200. Another dome. Looks small, but one of the bigger ones. And there's the 18-inch dome. The small plaques on the sides say this instrument was used to discover comet Shoemaker-Levy 6 in November 1991 here on Palomar Mountain. And according to this, it's named Minerva. When you're on top of a mountain in a building that spins around, you have to do some strange things to keep the lightning off of your head. Okay, Mr. Shoemaker, what are we doing and what's going on tonight?
Well, what I'm doing here is laying out our game plan for tonight. We prepare that during the afternoon before each night's observing run, because it depends on what's happened the nights before. So we'll probably take about 50 films tonight. Those are pairs of fields, so about 25 fields. Each film pair is separated by about 45 minutes. So I lay out on these sheets sets in which normally we have 8 films or 4 fields, and they're laid out in sequence. And I have to lay those down so they're spread across the sky, so that as we start in the early evening, we're shooting shooting fields that have declinations that are more westerly, and then we gradually move eastward across the sky. Actually, the sky, of course, is rising across our general viewing area during the course of the night. So the trick is to try to keep the films that we're taking, or the fields that we're taking, as close to the zenith as possible.
Very good. And what do you expect to see tonight?
Well, tonight we're going to go back and revisit some fields that we've already photographed earlier this run, on the first night as a matter of fact, because on those fields we have objects that we're following, objects discovered on prior observing runs in prior years, and also we're following some important Earth-approaching asteroids that have been discovered by other observers as well. So a fair amount of our work is related to getting the necessary follow-up observations, astrometric positions, that to enable precise orbits to be calculated.
Very good. Thank you. Hello, could you please introduce yourself and tell me what you're doing there?
Yes, I'm Carolyn Shoemaker with a stereo microscope that was built specially to look at our films. We put 2 films on that we have taken any one of these nights, and I examined the pair. It's a pair with the same field, guided on the same star, and taken about 45 minutes apart. And by scanning the films in this manner, I can find my asteroids. The movement of the Earth against the stars gives us a parallax that allows us to find the asteroids and comets, because they become images that float up above the surface when I look through here. Then over here on the light table, I have a field which tells me where an object was that we have taken another year. And so I lay the film over this particular field, matching the stars, and look to see where this object should be on my film. I mark it with a pen in this manner in order to be able to find it when I put it back on the microscope. And then I put it back over here, and I look where I've marked the red dots. If I have an object that floats in between those marks, then I know I've found my object. And this is the way we get our follow-ups.
Has it worked for you?
Oh, it works beautifully. It's a marvelous system.
Congratulations. Very interesting.
Thank you.
The finding in the Magellanic Clouds of the miracle variable stars that have subsequently turned out to be extremely significant, both for the exploration of extragalactic space and for the measurement of star distance within the Milky Way.
What have you got there, Gene?
This is Fritz Wicky's observing coat. He's the man who really founded this telescope. And his coat's still tucked in here in a little closet under the stairs.
Does he let you guys use it?
Oh, well, you know, we feel like he's
Yeah,
still
yeah, no,
here,
he
you know?
was doing videotaping, so I wasn't supposed to talk.
So we
Yeah.
enjoy showing our visitors that he still has his presence here in the dome.
Gotcha. I'm ready, Dave.
This is our 18-inch telescope. It is the oldest telescope at Palomar. It was built by Russell Porter of cellophane fame. He founded the cellophane conference in 1925, and Hale heard about it. And he heard that Porter had taken telescope making out of the woods and brought it into the basement. And he thought, this is the man that I want for the 200-inch project, to work with 200-inch. So Porter came out here, and the first major telescope that he built was this one. It's a Schmidt camera, and see, there's so many of Russell Porter's beautiful designs. Like he always had these tapered edges with all the designs. It's tapered here. You see the tube itself is a little bit tapered at the edge. Other telescopes at Palomar, and the ones that he made over at Stellafane are also like that. It's a lovely telescope to move. Moving in declination and annexation. You just grab onto it with two hands and move this very big telescope around with it very easily. It's just an absolute delight to use. It uses film that's placed directly at the prime focus. So we just open up these two doors here, and we load the film in here. And then when you take the cover off, close these up, and when it's time to expose a picture, we open the cover like that. Of course, normally the telescope would be pointing through the aperture of the dome, taking a picture. The dome, even though it's a small dome for an 18-inch telescope, it has the drama of a big dome when you're trying to move it. Get it so that the sun doesn't glare.
Very good. Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
Here's the business end of the 18-inch. And there is the primary and secondary mirror. Who's in charge of keeping that thing clean, Dave?
It sure needs a little bit of maintenance, doesn't it? Okay.
Okay, Dave, what's the plan?
Well, what we're going to do tonight, if the sky remains clear, we have our doubts at the moment, but we hope to take as many as 45 to 50 exposures. Each exposure covers an area of about 8 degrees of sky. And we take each film twice, so that anything moving from one film to the other we can catch it in two films.
That's with Carolyn's equipment, right?
Yes, that's what Carolyn was. And during a really good observing run, if we have 7 clear nights, we could take more than 300 films. Our most important discovery so far has been periodic comet Shoemaker Levy 9. It's the one that is split up into 21 pieces, all of which are going to get Jupiter next July. That's a very satisfying discovery we made. Another important one was we found an asteroid that is in orbit around the sun, but it shares the orbit that Mars has. It's 60 degrees along Mars's orbit behind Mars. It follows Mars. It's the term for it is a Martian Trojan asteroid, and the name we've given it was Eureka, after Archimedes' expression of joy after he discovered the principle of displacement of water.
I'll bet you that was a good night for you.
That was a good night, yeah. We didn't realize at the time how important the asteroid was. And other interesting objects that we found as well. The periodic comet Shoemaker-Levy 9 indicates that there are 8 other periodic Shoemaker-Levy comets, and 3 others that are non-periodic. So we have 12 Shoemaker-Levy comets altogether. Carolyn has found others with this telescope as well. Her total is 31 right now. So it's done very, very well.
Congratulations to all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you. What have you got there, Dave?
Okay, this is our plan B. This is Minerva. It's my 6-inch comet hunting telescope. We used it one night. One of our discoveries, periodic comet Shoemaker-Levy 6, was bright enough that when we sent the report of the discovery, we were actually able to include a visual magnitude estimate with this telescope.
Excellent. Small but effective.
Yeah, it's a nice scope. I've had the telescope since 1967.
Probably more feeling for that thing than some other telescopes around here, huh?
Well, that one was born the same month I was. That's May 5th. I was born May 22nd, 1948.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Very beautiful sight this evening. Goodbye, Palomar. The end.